There are many different animal species all over the world. They come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. How do scientists group these animals together? What makes them similar? Today we will be talking about animal classification and the 6 basic animal groups.
Aren't you excited for a trip to the zoo? I can't wait to see all my favorite animals. How do we classify animals? When you classify, you sort things into groups to show how they are alike. Because there are many kinds of animals, it can help to classify them in different ways.
Today we will be talking about the 6 basic types of animals. But before that, let's talk about warm-blooded animals and cold-blooded animals. Now, what are warm-blooded animals? Warm-blooded animals are animals whose temperatures don't change. For example, I drew a picture of a bear in 2 different environments. In one picture, he is in a snowy area, so it's obviously very cold. And in the other picture, he's in a very warm place. But if you look at the thermometer, in both places, his body temperature is exactly the same. Cold-blooded animals' body temperatures change depending on the weather outside. So, I used a snake, which is a cold-blooded animal, and I drew him in a cold area and in a warm area. In the cold area, his body temperature is much lower than the warm area. In the warm area, his body temperature is very high. The first animal group we're going to be talking about are invertebrates. Some examples of invertebrates are butterflies, jellyfish, and snails. What do all 3 of these animals have in common? They are all missing a backbone. What separates these animals from all the other ones is they're the only group that does not have a backbone. Another similarity all these animals share is they are all cold-blooded, just like the snake I illustrated for you guys. Mammals. Some examples of mammals are cats, rabbits, and horses. As we know, invertebrates do not have backbones. What else do we know about mammals? Mammals are warm-blooded, so their body temperature does not change with the weather. It always stays the same. Also, mammals have fur or hair. So yes, we humans are mammals. Mammals breathe with lungs, just like you and me. They live on land, and they give birth to live young, which means mammals do not lay eggs. Birds. Some examples of birds are flamingos, penguins, and peacocks. Birds have backbones, and they are warm-blooded, just like mammals. Birds live on land, so that means they have to breathe with lungs. We all know that birds lay eggs. And one last thing birds all share in common is they have feathers. Reptiles. Some examples of reptiles are snakes, turtles, and lizards. As we know, invertebrates are the only animals without a backbone. So that means reptiles have a backbone. Reptiles are cold-blooded. Remember that drawing of the snake I did earlier? Reptiles also live on land, which also means They need lungs to breathe. Reptiles have scaly skin, and they lay eggs, but sometimes they give birth to live young, but it's very rare. The next group are amphibians. Some examples of amphibians are frogs and toads. I'm sorry about these drawings, I'm not a very good artist. We know that amphibians have backbones because they're not invertebrates, and amphibians are cold-blooded, so the weather affects their body temperature. Amphibians live in water and in land. Amphibians have smooth skin. Amphibians lay eggs, and they need lungs and gills to breathe. The last group are fish. Fish have backbones, and we all know that fish live in water, which means they need gills to breathe. Fish are cold-blooded animals. Fish lay many, many, many eggs. And fish have scales. And that's all 6 animal groups. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed my lesson.